Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome. We are here. We gathered here, and bafowethu, mabozenzi thembi songezwe promises, and we did not deliver to those promises. But we trust you guys would forgive us. It is not our intention per se to actually not fulfill our promises, but things do happen. As we know, we are the only two that are pushing this, no one else. So sometimes we promise with the hope and the belief and the energy that we have to say we are going to come, we are going to work on this, we are going to say 1, 2, 3, and it does not happen. So this week we didn't even deliver for the members also.
No, we didn't.
We didn't,
Saturday.
And we apologize. We will do so. Things do happen, guys. Some of them, they are I can't even explain them, but we apologized with the respect that we have to you. It is not our intention to promise and not deliver. Emily, it says, for me, I think the biggest topic is Bill Gates shutting the wombs of African women for 8 good years. The experiment that is set to have not to have happened, but it was actually missing an approval of the president of Namibia, right? Very interesting, the choice of the country, and perhaps this is a signal, and this is a sign that we do maybe undermine women sometimes. Now and then we do it as male. I'm not speaking for others who do not do it. But why would you choose this president who's just new in his job and you want to experiment with his people? With her people, sorry.
And apparently in Kenya, it has been approved. Kenya having serious problems with their president as well, who doesn't want to listen to the citizens. Wanyiwa in Kenya, because here it says Bill Gates Foundation is set to launch the world's first contraceptive that will prevent pregnancy for 8 years.
Can you Kenya. Adjust your mic, Emily? It makes some noise. Yes, it is making some, yeah.
So Bill Gates Foundation is set to launch the world's first contraceptive that will prevent pregnancy for 8 years in Kenya. So that seems to have gone through in Kenya. People are upset. They are asking why not the USA, because the USA in general has a lot more population than the population that is at Kenya, as well as any other African country. Not Africa as in the whole continent, but countries in Africa specifically are being pushed.
They are being targeted.
Yes.
If you ask me, in my opinion,
and
they are being targeted for these spurious, nonsensical experiments.
It's irreversible, and it's also still an experiment, which is very
Who said
weird.
We're guinea pigs, man?
It's not like it's formal, it works. He wants a testing ground, and he's doing that in Africa.
And they always do that. They really always do that. That's how, I don't understand why. Why is it easy to experiment with Africans? Why is it like straightforward? You just want to approach the country, give the president money?
Give money.
And then these sellouts, they normally do sellouts. Kudos to the president of Namibia.
Well, the president of Namibia's Presido, Her Excellency Netumbo Nandi Ndiatwa, has firmly rejected that proposal from Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation to conduct trials of a hormonal intrauterine device, a UID, designed to prevent pregnancy for up to 8 years in Namibia. The ones we currently have in the country are up to 5 years. And there's no telling what these ones that Melinda
side
Gates
effects.
Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have done, what chemicals they've put in them, and what are the side effects. They want to test all of that in Namibia. And the president of Namibia said, hell no. No.
It is crazy, man. I never understand why we were playground for this test. You know, I never understand why. Why would you leave your country and want to come and test? Why don't you test with them people in America?
Because they don't have the same trust anymore for people like him and their organizations.
When
and
you
what
have
they
a
do.
president that approves that kind of nonsense.
And now is an information age. So maybe in the past, people could not get access to the information regarding certain individuals who like to give stuff for free in Africa that come with a lot.
This is
Of harm.
nonsense, man. It does not make sense. It pisses me off all the time when I hear about this news. Considering how our diseases, some of them came about, the history and the lack of accountability that we see after that, it is crazy, because who's going to account for that after the approval of such? You know, why
say
is
they're
it easy?
immune.
Why
They're
is
immune.
it easy?
They are given immunity, they cannot be sued. So,
Kenya is not even bigger than South Africa, right?
I think
population.
we are bigger in population than
Yeah, if I
Kenya.
check,
It's just
like-
that I'm not certain.
No, it's fine. I'll check the population of Kenya.
I think the biggest is Nigeria in Africa.
But even if it's the biggest, why are we pushing it to Africans?
We are guinea pigs.
You know, it doesn't make sense. I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
they're lab rats. Available to the highest bidder.
If it's not the fruits, the food.
And he's also cooking the food as well. Americans are crying because some of the food, I saw someone holding a slice of bread in a sink, and they poured water on it. It was like a sponge. It didn't do the normal stuff that bread does when you squeeze it with your hand. That bread freaked me out. And the mere fact that people are consuming that bread and eating it, and it looks like a sponge.
Yeah, the population of Kenya is like 56.43 million.
And we're like 61 million.
Yes.
But I believe we're much higher than that now.
Oh, definitely we are. Probably 70, 80.
Yeah, census is saying 61 million. But at the same time, he's working on the food, Mr. Anonymous. The food, the GMOs. Right now also there's an unspoken thing that's also happening in Kenya. Farmers are being forced to do away with organic seeds and to use these GMO seeds.
Forced.
There will be a patent on each seed. So these GMO seeds, you plant once and you cannot get seeds again from the crops. It's a once-off plantation system, because the fruits or the vegetables that are going to come from those seeds are not going to have seeds in them. So if you are planting corn, you know how our grandmothers would take the seeds of the corn and keep them for the next season. It's no longer going to work like that anymore. You'll have this one seed that you plant once. And apparently they also erode the soil. So they damage the soil.
If they damage the soil, why should we eat them?
Imagine what they're going to do to our bodies. And already now I'm seeing, even with our fruits and vegetables, there's a lot of seedless stuff. And I'm kind of scared. Where are all these seedless oranges, seedless grapes, where are they coming from, guys? Have we stopped to ask the question, where do they plant these seedless fruits?
Unfortunately, you won't get the answer.
So, with resolute authority, President Nandi Ndaitwah condemned the initiative as a profound injustice to the Namibian people and humanity at large. And I agree.
May the ancestors, and I'm not going to say, I'm going to choose this, may the ancestors protect that president.
In her official statement, the president declared, Namibia is a nation of modest size, with a population of just over 3 million. If any country should consider measure to curb population growth, it ought to be nations like the United States with over 347 million people. Any attempt to hinder or suppress the growth of human potential in Namibia constitutes a grave injustice to our people and their future.
It is. It is. I mean, what is this fascination with trying to reduce the population?
They call it eugenics.
It just doesn't make sense. There are things that, in my opinion, if I was to put my opinion here, some of you would probably hit the TV because it just doesn't make sense. We have created some groups, we have added some groups in humanity, and it is just messing up with the population one way or another. And then all of a sudden, people are interested in creating things that are going to stop giving birth, or basically are going to stop generating a next generation in terms of what I look at. Why are we interested in that? Why are we interested in those silly things that are really, and we choose the continent such as this one of black people. What is wrong with you doing it on your own people? If you want to test, why don't you test your wife or your daughter if you're interested?
We would never do that.
Why should you test on other people? Because you want to make billions and test your family.
There's a very dark thing to this eugenics thing that I don't even want to speak about it here.
Obvious. We can't speak. We can't speak about it. You just cannot speak. And they start flagging us. Even now, I'm sure probably. Let's move on.
Yeah, but it's very disturbing. All of these things are very disturbing. But let's drop it there for now. You guys can share your opinions and let us know what you think about all of this. And also considering the fact that last week, I heard news that the birth rates in South Africa had reduced. So South African women are choosing less and less to give birth.
Oh, obvious. It was bound to happen. It might not be something that started now. It probably started a long time ago.
Yeah.
There are a lot of groups that, in my opinion, we should also look at other than the medicine that we are consuming. Groups also, they are contributing to that. It might not be something that you see it now, but there is an increase in a number of people that decide not to have kids.
And then they want to influence everyone.
And then they want to influence everyone. And you see the videos pop up, even if you don't watch such thing. They just spoon feed you such nonsense.
Like, maybe they're onto something, maybe. But I know better. I know that the economy is a big part of what happens when women decide to or not to have kids.
Since when did we have to look at the economy?
We don't look at the
before
economy.
We give birth.
It's the after effects. To say that we look at the economy is a bit unfair because a lot of people are unable to predict what's going to happen with a certain administration in government or a certain way things are going to unfold. Some people are unable to look at that, because maybe if we were able to look at that, we would make better decisions when it comes to
such as
gathering ourselves, and organizing more of our voice. but it doesn't happen much.
Is it a voice that is needed, or you just need now to take your decision and make it your own decision to be like basically we must reduce this thing of giving away land from villages and we all want to be urbanized, because I mean, if things go worst, then what happens? Because here, if you have a house, for example, even if you pay the bond and finish it, you will never stop owing the government the rates and everything that keeps on increasing. So you are indebted for that house for as far as you can live.
True. And there's also this factor in of other people who don't take responsibilities. They make other women pregnant and then they leave them with the kids, and then the kid becomes the full responsibility of the woman. That in itself also creates this support or this movement of women that are choosing, maybe this is not the best thing for me.
No, I hear you. You really are pushing, but in my opinion,
not pushing. I'm just stating the realities of other people. I mean, your reality may not apply to somebody else. So some women have observed their own lives and are feeling, maybe this is not for me because I cannot see myself raising children by myself.
Yes. And I agree with you. I really agree. But as a person who grew up being fed proudly so by my mother, you'd find it, you'd forgive me for not believing in such excuse. I've seen a woman without the help of a man. Maybe let me put it like this, because I don't want to lie and say without the help of a man, but mostly I would say put it 80% in terms of feeding me. I put it to my mother, and then 20% to my father. And in terms maybe of being raised, then I put 80% to my father, 20% to my mother, because she was forever busy making money.
But it wasn't easy though.
It wasn't easy. It has to be supplemented by the food that we had to plant at home. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
But here I am. But
also as well, the generation needs to continue. Our bloodlines needs to continue. So as hard as this decision might be, we still need to going on. Imagine if your ancestors decided not to have you or not to have your parents. Where would you be? You would not be here, right? So the bloodlines, the generation has to continue, especially now that you know that there are people who actually want to cut that, who don't want you guys to grow as a population. There's a little something to think about, that, don't make permanent decisions
that are irreversible.
Of economic.
You take a decision now, 40 years down the line, you want to change your mind. And there's no way to change it.
You should really think and strategize as best as you can in your life. Try to find a person with a good character that will not leave you with children to raise.
There's no guarantees, unfortunately. There's no...
But try your best. Try your best
you
to
can
pick
just try.
A father for your children who's not going to leave you squandering. I know it's hard and I know there's no formula to these things, but hey, do the best that you can for yourself. But all you need to know is that even with these movements and these social media videos, a lot of women speaking about how they don't want children and all of that, you still at the end of the day have to make that decision for yourself and not be influenced by people that are on social media. You understand? Because they don't know what they're actually serving by spreading such messages. They don't know about this foundation right here that is just gone to Namibia and said, hey, can we experiment on 3 million population of your women so that we can see if this contraception is going to work.
For 8 freaking years.
And then they are not going to be held liable, right? If it causes severe side effects like infertility in some of these women, there will be nobody to sue. They are given immunity from being sued by members of the public. So that is just something to really consider before you make any permanent decisions.
Right. It's fine. I've had enough of giving birth. What's up? What is happening?
Well, guys, I know. But over the weekend, I was, looking at this story. But the way it bothered me, I felt like we need to talk about it, right? Sunday World published an article where they were talking about a meeting that happened between Andrew Chauke, the DPP of South Gauteng, or rather the suspended DPP of South Gauteng, and Shamila Batoyi.
Yeah.
It was a very dramatic meeting, you guys. Very, very, very dramatic. Remember that Andrew Chauke has been suspended by the president. The president made a decision to suspend him because the president was not happy, apparently, as well as Shamila Batoyi had complained about Andrew Chauke prior to this suspension. She had complained that there are many cases that he refuses to prosecute. And it seems like a lot of these cases are of political figures. But let's go through the article together so that you guys get to see exactly what's going on. So suspended Johannesburg.
What is the probability of success as of this year when NPA prosecute? It's fine. I'll find that one out. Continue.
Suspended Johannesburg Director of Public Prosecutions Andrew Chauke stormed out of a meeting with National Head Shamila Batoyi, where former Minister Zizi Kodwa was the subject of discussion. Sunday World can reveal that weeks before Chauke was suspended last week, Batoyi summoned him to a meeting at the National Prosecuting Authority head office in Pretoria. At the meeting, the duo was set to discuss the decision of his office to drop the corruption prosecution against Zizi Kodwa, and businessman Jehan McKay. Or Jehan McKay. So, but unbeknownst to Chauke, Batoyi had also invited Chauke's juniors who were connected to the meeting virtually. So this is interesting. Andrew Chauke is suspended and Shamila Batoyi calls him to the office at Pretoria, the national office of the NPA in Pretoria, and says we are having a meeting. And then when he walks into the office and is said to have a meeting with Shamila Batoyi now connected Andrew Chauke's juniors from the South Gauteng High Court via a virtual meeting, right? I'm just setting the scene there. So the ambush is said to have offended Chauke, who has been under siege from Batoyi for years. Informants close to the situation said that Chauke was also disturbed by Batoyi's maneuvers to make him the personal custodian of Kodwa's decision. So the decision not to prosecute Zizi Kodwa is what Batoyi allegedly is maneuvering to make Andrew Chauke the personal custodian, meaning he solely is responsible for Zizi Kodwa's charges getting dropped. Remember how last year that was a whole controversial thing of Zizi Kodwa's case being dropped, the corruption case being dropped. So the meeting was about Zizi Kodwa's matter, for which Batoyi insists there is a case to answer, while Chauke and his deputies insisted that there's no case, given the weak evidence. So they are saying, Chauke and his deputies, that the evidence that was presented against Zizi Kodwa was weak. But Shamila Batoyi is insisting that there is a case to answer to. But the issue is that Chauke did not decide that there is no basis for prosecution. Now, here's the tricky part that I myself was not even aware of, okay? They're saying that Chauke is not the one who decided that there's no basis for prosecution. So basically, they're saying Chauke is not the one who made the decision not to prosecute Zizi Kodwa. Isn't that interesting? His deputies are the ones who made that decision. And like every boss, he defended his subordinates. Is there anything wrong with what he did?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. What happens normally if the cases are built against you, you would normally take a fall for that. And that's, I think, in my opinion, if he feels that he's
as
being
a superior,
targeted.
Because I see a lot of that happening in corporate where
If he feels that he's targeted, probably he must expect that it's coming his door. It's not going to change. That's how things are happening right now. And you're probably going to see these with many cases where you are being targeted. Normally, that's how you see it. You did not do it yourself, but you are held liable for your people that were reporting under you.
So Batoy in that meeting wanted the Johannesburg deputies to present the story of why the decision was made not to prosecute Zizi Kodwa and for Chauke to be grilled on it. But Chauke told her in no uncertain terms that it was nonsensical to seek hold of him accountable in front of his juniors in a manner that looked like an ambush. So Chauke was not happy about that. He felt ambushed and he was calling it all nonsensical to seek him and to hold him accountable in front of his juniors. It's almost like it was an attempt to kind of embarrass him in front of the people that used to report to him. And he didn't take lightly to that.
Stripping power.
He walked out of the meeting. So this is an insider who gave
and
this
definitely
information.
do expect that to actually be used against him.
The walking out situation.
I know many people think that, in my opinion, I do not hold anything against Chauke in terms of Senzo's case, because I think most of the time when Chauke has refused these cases, they don't stand a day in court.
And if they are pushed through, they end up being acquitted with the appeal. Like it happened with Richard Mdluli's case.
Yes.
Judge Ratam Khwatleng had presided over that very long trial with Richard Mdluli, and he found him
Which I
guilty.
believe, in my opinion, that was a political case.
It was a political case. It was.
That should tell you something. It to me, it looked like a political case that seemed to do whatever that it was doing, Lord knows what. But we
at the time, there was accusations or allegations to say that Richard Mdluli was the then head of crime intelligence and that he was close to the former president or something like that. There were those types of allegations to say that he's even doing corruption, right?
Yeah.
Even Paul O'Sullivan was
part of the people that were
who
gunning
made sure
for him.
that he is held liable for
as
his
they would
crimes.
call it. Normally, they are holding you liable.
But then when it went to trial, the case was not corruption per se. I think we even went through it in the past on Mzansi Reality. It was about him having kidnapped. And this had happened 20 years ago. He had kidnapped, allegedly kidnapped a lover of his ex-wife. You know, and that lover or boyfriend ended up passing away, and
During
there were
that kidnapping?
Yes, there were allegations that he's the one who had orchestrated that kidnapping and even gotten him killed. So that was what that case was
And there
about.
was no substance. Because later when he appealed,
He appealed like not even a year later. After getting convicted, like a couple of months later, he appealed and then they released him from jail. After Judge Ratam Khwatling had sentenced him, I think he had given him something like for 10 years or something, but I'm not sure, guys. I may be wrong. It's been a while since I did my research on that case. I was just like, wow, I was blown away. I don't understand. Some things are too big for me to fathom, but yeah.
That's basically the gist of what could have happened.
Yeah. On appeal, and the appeal did not even take that long, so I don't know, because I wasn't following the case.
He prides himself
detail
with
to
the
detail.
appeals.
I don't know what happened.
Rata prides himself. Just go to the appeal in case it goes to the other people.
There was even hostility between himself, Judge Ratam Khwatling, and Richard Mdluli. They were consistently combating, against each other like this in court. It was drama. It was dramatic, that case. It was, a lot. It was a lot.
I think he got famous with that case, eh?
So, Sowetan also said that their moles said that it was at this point. No, it's not Sowetan, my apologies, Sunday World. Sunday
Yes.
World says that their moles said that it was at this point that Chauke'S stood up and left the meeting. So those within the higher echelons at the NPA said Chauke, a career prosecutor, has resisted pressure from Batoy to charge big name politicians, even in the absence of evidence.
Those are allegations.
Allegedly. Okay? So Shamila is vested, according to one of the moles. They're saying that Shamila Batoy is vested in nailing so-called top politicians.
Oh, so that's an excuse now. Basically, the reason why they haven't been arresting these so-called top politicians because of this Shamila, but
It's because of
Chauke.
Chauke. They're trying to now say it's because of him that these big politicians are not arrested. But then, kukalange evidence. So where's the evidence? What is the evidence? Because the evidence, really, there's no need for this back and forth.
There is no need.
evidence is
If the
presented,
evidence speaks for itself.
you understand what I'm saying. So sometimes it's like, I don't know who to believe between these people. It's all like a power game.
But so
power
far,
struggle.
I think if you just look from far, the cases that Chauke has passed on, he, one way or another, has been vindicated on them. So then who would you
Look at
trust?
what's happening with Senzo's case.
Who would you trust? People are saying he's the one who sat on Senzo's case, which I don't believe. Any
They're
inch of
saying
that.
that
I
he
believe
sat
it just.
on his desk and he was refusing to prosecute. Now the question I have is, okay, fine, it was sitting on his desk and he was refusing to prosecute. What was in that docket that was in his desk?
The Senzo's case, it still remains the mystery as to what exactly did they want Chauke to prosecute on. It is not clear to me,
It's not
considering the fact that now, as we are following the case, some of the things have been just recently done and changed and adjusted.
There was no Zungu at the
After
time that
de
he was sitting
novo,
on his desk.
you know.
There was no cold case unit. A lot of things happened after that docket was moved from his desk. Then the investigations took another turn.
So I think for now, I would choose to believe more of Chauke's work more than anything. I think I'm.
And a lot was on Chauke's shoulders because remember they arrested Zamoguhle Mbata.
They did.
Recall that. And now you have people from the house who are refusing to cooperate with the police. They are saying that they cooperated, but can you call the weight of the evidence that they've given as cooperation? I mean, we can recall Warrant Officer Steenkamp in the documentary saying that Kelly was even like slouched, sitting back on her chair. It seemed like she didn't even want to be there while she was doing the whole sketch and draft.
I remember that part.
And she was so withdrawn. And can you say those are people that were willing to cooperate? And then asking for the son to say, okay, maybe your son did see something. And she's like, no, not with my child. You understand what I'm saying? Can we say that as being cooperative?
No, in my opinion, no.
Then Kelly's mom now is said, now after the trial has gone on, we can say without feeling like we're being accusatory, but Kelly's mother pointed Zamukuhle Mpata in the pointing out. And she was telling the police that that's the man that came in, the intruder. Turns out he was not. So can we say that was cooperative?
There was evidence, in a sense. Can we say there was enough evidence for this prosecutor to stand up and say, I'm taking this case to court? Can we say that? And my simple answer based on the evidence that we have followed, it's no. We cannot say that. Not by any age. There was nothing. That's why the case had to be investigated while in the process.
Investigators had worked on the case. And can we say that when it was sitting at Chauke'S desk, it was complete, it was sealed, all the evidence was there, enough for a successful conviction?
No, I don't think so.
So they're saying that Shamila is vested in nailing high top politicians, and this is what the civil society groupings are all about.
Why doesn't he do that like he did the Senzo's case and push it to Pretoria then?
With Zizi Kota's case.
I mean, it seems as if you can just move a case in any case from Johannesburg to Pretoria.
Now this word of civil society groups is coming in again, Mr. Anonymous. I think we've heard it before. They're saying that this is what the civil society groupings are all about. Remember, they run the show now in influencing how the NPA does its work.
So there's a civil group that is pushing for this?
Groupings. It's more than one.
But there are researchers there and all that. And they are whistleblowers.
Yes. But civil society groups, we're talking something different. We're talking more like, what is the description that best describes civil society groups? We're talking about these NGOs. We're talking about...
Yeah, civil society. Now I can Google it.
Please look at the app for me. What is the exact meaning of civil society groups? Because they're saying that these civil society groups are now in the NPA and they are giving Shamila Batoi pressure to gun for these high top politicians. Guys, are you paying attention?
Civil society groups are non-governmental, non-profit organizations. We know that's a fucked up.
Sorry for the pun.
For the language. But yeah, networks formed by citizens, and definitely that doesn't include me. So it is normally formed by certain citizens, foreign citizens most of the time, if you ask me. Just saying. Citizens to promote and protect common interest. Yes, that is 100% correct. Common interest. They are common interest, which we never know what it is, but we can assume by association by who they defend.
You see, with the headlines as well, would say, okay, who are they lambasting this month?
So once they lambast that person, then you know, oh, here we go. So they promote and protect common interest, values and causes, basically. So what happens if civil society is full of people who are coming from other countries? They still protect the common interest of the society. They operate independently, which is a messed up lie, in my opinion, from the state and private business, often playing a watchdog advocates. Oh, a watchdog. I like that. And service delivery role. They never talk about service delivery role. Key features of civil society groups is independent from government. They are not state agencies, though they may collaborate with government, exactly like probably they would do with this IDEC, allegedly, that they were talking about. Some of them non-profit in nature. Their primal aim is not to make profit but achieving social goals. Oh God, Jesus, put it the other way around. Citizens' participation, run or supported by members of the public. Unfortunately, they are not supported by us. We don't know where they get their money. They have their money. We don't know who they are,
and yet they are influencing the NPA.
And on behalf of us, by the way, advocacy and accountability often push the transparency, good governance, and policy change. Or they even push for policy change. I guess you South Africans don't know much. You need to go and learn so that you can create your own civil society.
Yes. But Chauke is resistant and takes decisions based on evidence presented regardless of the name of the accused. Now, on the Zizi Kodwa matter, he said, or Sunday World said that the GMOs revealed that Batoyi does not enjoy concurrence from her colleagues at the NPA head office, where she is said to be the lone voice pushing for Kodwa to be charged again. So she wants Zizi Kodwa to be charged again.
What did he do this time around?
Now, let's remind ourselves of Zizi Kodwa's case. And
did he open his mouth again? I don't know, man. This is nonsense for me. But yeah.
Well, Zizi Kodwa, former South African Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, at the time when these allegations were pounding against him, he was the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. It's not long ago. It was just last year. Hey? He was arrested and charged with corruption related to accepting bribes, totaling approximately 1.7 million. Now, the charges stemmed from allegations that Kodwa received this money from Johan McKay, a former executive of the IT Services Group, EOH Holdings. Now, in exchange for influencing government contracts, particularly involving contracts awarded by the city of Johannesburg for upgrading and maintaining metro software systems. So the corruption allegations were first publicly revealed during the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into State Capture in 2020. Testimony indicated that McKay made payments to Kodwa in multiple transactions and had funded luxury holidays and provided the money as a loan. I even remember they did an interview just before the trial started, just before he got arrested. There was an interview that was conducted by one of the TV stations, and he insisted that it was a loan. Right? So the Zondo Commission report recommended considerations of Kodwa's position in government due to his indebtedness to McKay. At the time, he was still owing him, and Kodwa was arrested by the Hawks and made several court appearances at Palm Ridge Specialized Commercial Crime Court in Ekurhuleni. He was granted a bail of 30,000 rands, and in his defense, Kodwa maintained his innocence and cooperated fully with law enforcement. However, the legal case experienced multiple delays and procedural steps as both Kodwa and McKay made representations to the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, challenging the state's case. This is the office of Chauke.
Okay.
Or was his office at the time. So ultimately, in November 2024, the Director of Public Prosecutions decided to withdraw all corruption charges against Zizi Kodwa and his co-accused Johan McKay.
I guess he had learned his lesson.
The reason for the withdrawal was not fully disclosed, but was based on strong legal arguments made by the defendants and a review of the case docket. Consequently, Kodwa is no longer facing these corruption charges and has declared himself a free man, ready to continue with his political career and public service career. In fact, he has been sworn in as a member of parliament after these charges were dropped, we saw him walking there with the rest of the politicians in the GNU, and he took his oath and went back to parliament like nothing ever happened. Yes.
Well, don't open your mouth when you are not called for.
Yes.
Lindy Webembe, thank you very much.
Speaking of opening his mouth, there was footage that trended.
Yeah.
And it circulated on Twitter. It trended. People were saying this recording is Zodwa. He was secretly being recorded in a meeting. Of course, he denied the recording. But me and my recollection, how I remember these events, I remember this recording circulating, and then now the media was starting to say, you took a loan from McKay, from the Zondo Commission.
Around the time when the video was circulating.
Yes, the same week. And then they're like, the media now was doing interviews now, speaking about him, he's been arrested.
Sometimes opening your mouth in a wrong platform.
But he denied it being him on that recording.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was him. I'm just saying sometimes we say things and next thing you realize who you are saying those things to. It's not someone to maybe mess with. But these days, politics can be played in courts also, in my opinion. So politics is no longer just a political of argument and where you win your debate and finish and clear, that's it. Now there could be consequences for everything you do, in my opinion.
I don't know if you have the record. Did you manage to get it, or should we direct our family to go and get that recording? It was very interesting. I don't know if it's even safe to play it again.
Oh, wow. The recording, was it there?
I think it was there. I'd asked you to put it up, and I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. No, you guys can go find the recording. I think it's fair that Okay,
way.
guys, you go find it. It's on TikTok. It's easier to find on TikTok because on Twitter it's difficult. After time has passed, things just
Disappear.
they're hard to find.
Yes.
They're hard to find. That's what I'm going to say. So Chauke is on suspension now, pending an inquiry into his fitness to hold office, a process whose terms of reference are yet to be formulated, as is the charge sheet. So far, the whispers in the NPA corridors are that Chauke will be grilled on his alleged role in the case against former crime intelligence boss Richard Mdluli and the Kato Mena killing squad under former KZN Hawks head Johan Boysen. The Kato Mena killing squad, the one that Thabo Bester was referring to, that they arrested him back in 2010. Back when he was called the Facebook
Swindler.
Yeah.
Owen Komano, thank you for renewing your membership.
Thank you, Owen.
BBM, our moderator, saying, please press the like button, guys. They are not happy about the likes. They are not liking. Please press the like button. Subscribe if you have to subscribe. And indeed, we do have membership that we have committed into having these conversations. Most of these ones that are not easy to actually bring here. So we are going to have those meetings, even if we just record and put them there. It is something that we should be doing on every Saturday.
Yes. But those in the know have alleged hidden agendas, which include the Zodwa case, but also the Chauke'S is being persecuted for refusing to charge certain politicians known to Sunday World based on media articles. So Chauke had been under pressure to charge these politicians, but he has been refusing, saying, I do not have evidence. So they wanted a pliable DPP.
I like the reporting of this person.
In Joburg.
I like the reporting of this person. You know, it's been a while since I had a piece of paper that speaks like this, speaks the honest truth. You know, it takes a lot to dig and find such papers. And journalists, actually.
Now, this highly placed source that is close to the events is the one sharing all of this information. So at this point, they took the files to another prosecutor in Pretoria, but that prosecutor also refused for the same reasons.
So there's someone else who refused.
In Pretoria, yes.
So what is wrong then? Why is that person not prosecuted like Chauke?
If that once they're done, maybe with Chauke, then they will go to them allegedly.
Why don't they do it once and for all? If they so believe that this is everything that they needed and it was there.
So the level of desperation to charge these politicians is so high, it looks like an instruction to charge, whether there is a case or not, has been issued.
Wow. And I must say again, this report, what is the paper?
Sunday World.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Let me make sure it's Sunday World.
It makes sense now.
I made a
so
mistake.
So as if Sunday World is rolling back the years of reporting, where reporting was still reporting.
Shoganje.
Yeah.
I'm loving Sunday World these days. I don't want to lie. I am entertained.
Yeah, they bring,
even the Cat Matlala story, they've been on it since the Tebogo thing.
Was it them also in Absalom?
No, it was Daily Sun.
Daily Sun. It was Daily Sun. Okay.
It was Daily Sun.
In my head, I catch the strings that people say, "Hey, I catch the strays. If you're going to court, please make sure you get it correct." I was like, "Yo, the CEO."
Yes, you must quote the source. You must quote the source. It's very important.
BBM, welcome to membership. Thank you very much for joining membership. We appreciate that. Really, it means a lot, guys.
So some have alleged that the beef between Batoy and Chauke might also be a matter of professional jealousy. Chauke scored higher than Batoy during the interview for the Post, which President Cyril Ramaphosa ended up giving to Batoy despite her not even making the top 3. I had heard this. I vaguely remember the appointment of Batoy. I vaguely remember it. When she was appointed,
I don't remember.
There was, I would say, reports and people kind of asking how, why her, you know, why, where did she come from?
What is special about her?
Where did she come from? It was almost like, who is this person? Like everybody was shocked at the time. That was the atmosphere that I felt, even though I knew nothing about these NPA, the processes. I wasn't that interested in these people or these offices at the time. But I remember that atmosphere when I would go through my social media after the president appointed her, that some people had questions. They were like, why her? I mean, they expected certain people to occupy that position based on how they had performed in their interviews. Now, I don't know whether the interviews were made public or not. Anyone who was able to catch that interview, please send me the link. I would like to see it now that I'm sober. Now that I'm sober. At that time, I was very, very upset. I didn't follow politics. I was just, my BP was high and I didn't want anything to do with politics. I went through a phase, you guys. I went through a phase. I was like, I don't want to see the news. I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to see social media, anything, politics.
You were hurtful.
I was hurtful. But now, I'm like, okay, I'm getting older.
You need to know these things. What else can you do?
I need to understand.
Other than
when my children have questions, I need to know what to say.
Other than focusing on arthritis and other stuff.
Exactly.
You need to read the paper.
Yes. You need to look at the news, guys. You need to see, you need to study, you need to read them articles. You need to find out what's happening in your country. Okay.
That's true. So, please press the like button, guys. I beg you. Let us at least, this is what BBM, our new member, is saying. Reach this 200, and then that's true. Really, if we just put it in 200, the morning gang, trust them, you'll see it. It's gonna be in 1,000 in no time. So let's push for this 200, even 250. I mean, it's 250 people here. Could be using 2 gadgets. press like button on both of them. It helps us a lot, and those people who do that used to we appreciate you guys. We don't maybe appreciate you enough. We appreciate you.
So it turns out Batoy did not even make the top 3 for the interviews for this position, and Chauke'S scored second highest. So the offensive against Chauke is also believed to be a strategy to diminish his chances to apply to succeed Batoy, who's leaving early next year.
Wasn't he supposed to leave soon?
They said she reached retirement age. Usimelani, Thembi Simelani, Uthe, Ubatoy kumele ehambe e-office.
And now we were talking about
and the next thing, corruption. Thembi Simelane stole money. Thembi Simelane, president must move her. President moved her.
Oh, shame. Hey, politics. Idlalwa amaxoki.
Thembi Simelane was determined and said, Shamila Batoy, your retirement age has come. You need to leave.
Politics. Yeah, she's nguba. Mhlelo amaxoki.
And now we're being told she has 2 more years. So leaving early next year. It's the 2 more years. We started counting last year because that's when they got rid of Thembi Simelane and put her in another department.
Why are you saying they got rid of her?
They got rid of her in this department of law, of justice, and they put her in another department.
She was determined that people have passed their age. She was not moving there.
And I knew it wasn't going to end well for her.
She was not moving there.
I was like, this lady is pushing too much.
Let's press like button, guys. 30 more people that are required for 200.
But I admired her for a good 5 seconds there. I was like, yeah, what a strong black woman.
I was also surprised that they don't breed them like this anymore. But again, if you decide to stand for what you stand for, whether it's truth or not.
VBS. Hi corruption. Hi VBS. Hey.
But you know, my feeling of Mkhwanazi, and my thinking in Mkhwanazi's situation, Fani Masemule is the stronghold of this whole thing. So once we move Fani Masemula, so that's why I'm saying, and I've been talking about.
There's an article that I saw from yesterday speaking on Fani Masemula. They said he's gotta go. In fact, there's a warrant of arrest that has been issued against him.
IDEC.
Yes, from IDEC. So now what's
you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. Someone literally said, "You have put yourself in my what?
In my radar."
In my radar. And we're about to see it. There are people who have been ululating about it. They claim to stand for us. We will see. We are waiting. Let the people who are standing for us, whether we like it or not, they are saying they are standing for us. What we want to see, it does not matter. It's what they want to see that matters. So silindile sebeshila abakhulu ukuthi abaphathi bezwe, people who are in charge, ukuthi hayi impela ayinuki ngoswanga.
Yeah.
Hayi politics umdlalo amaxhuku impela.
Guys. Chauke refused to comment, saying that his legal team had advised him not to engage with the media. I don't blame him, considering after what happened when Newsroom Africa replayed an interview they had with him over a year ago, I think, after the announcement was made that he would be suspended, or he was suspended. People were really, really paying attention to his body language, and they interpreted his body language to be as a man who's a crook. A man was hiding something. The comments were insane. I was like, guys, how can you tell all of that from me?
South Africans.
Guys, wait a minute.
South Africans can decide.
What
for
if
you.
the man is just not well? Because you can even tell he's not looking at the camera. What if he's not like a technology type of, person who will be like looking at the web camera like this? These things are not easy. I'm used to looking at the camera now, but when I started, oh my God, it was shaky. Okay, it was shaky. So sometimes you when you're answering difficult questions, especially I remember at my former workplace, I had difficulty when it was meetings and stuff. In fact, I preferred the camera off because
happy South Africans, they are capable of deciding which side they take. Let's take, for example, the situation of Wandi. Wandi got a bail of 2,000, right?
Yes.
Useless bail for really taking someone's life, allegedly. If you ask me, a 10,000 or something above was more fitting.
Picked the side.
The women have picked a side.
On
and
TikTok, and a majority of them.
Here's what worries me. The mother who was said to have been beaten using a bat, there are no medical record that I've seen going in a social. And if they were there, we would have known, right? Instead, he was taken to where? To jail, right?
She was taken to prison.
Was there any medication administered there? No one knows. But if it was there, we'd probably be knowing right now, since if people are playing on social media, and these are people who really like playing on social media and seeking, in my opinion, sympathy. But it's okay. Now, the guy is gone. He cannot speak for himself. He's gone.
Yes, that's his uncle, by the way.
But he's a worst person that you can ever think of all of a sudden. We don't know this for the fact. There is no record of previous, maybe people going to a police station and reporting this situation. We don't know. But ladies, because this is a lady, they've
renovated a house for her mother. But here's the thing. It was a family house.
And by the way, guys, let me remind you, if you do expect to own a house, a family house, don't
renovate the family
renovate
house.
it if you have money, but don't expect to own it.
To own it, because after you are done renovating, it's not yours.
It's not yours. It's still not yours. Whether you have changed what, it's still not yours. So all of a sudden, people of Katlehong are jealous of this woman.
But on that street, Wandi has built Umawake is Taba, a very big, beautiful house. In that street, there's no other house that is to that level, So now people of Katlehong are so jealous that they are kicking her out of that house because their aunt, Auntiga Wandi, is refusing to live with Wandi in the same house, allegedly. So, but she's refusing because allegedly her daughter...
I have been noticing the reporting around this. The people who claim to be reporting, they really twisted it properly now, in my opinion. It makes sense that we should all support Wandi for victory.
It's not everyone.
And we should all be behind Wandi. But what happens to the thing of do not take a person's life? It does apply to ladies when they wrong us. We are not supposed to take their lives.
And at the end of the day, somebody died, and in a cold manner.
People had a chance, allegedly, of taking this person to hospital and maybe getting help quicker. But it's okay. It's something that we can talk of on another day. In my opinion, I can never fall for those kind of, in my opinion, gimmicks. When people decide to solicitate sympathy through media, we now should support them because we only knew them, not the uncle. For me, someone passed away. If that man had a kid, that kid lost a father. One way or another, that kid lost a father. If you decide to go and stay at the family house and Omunya is mooring high music, you must know those are the things that you pay when you decide to not have your own house that you could have bought yourself and renovated it somewhere else. Obviously, there are people who operate differently.
Shack, just go and start your own life. Abani family house, but for it in the law. I'm speaking from a person who comes from the township. I don't.
So it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
You'll be heartbroken. They're going to kick you out. They're going to say that when now you think you're the boss because you renovated the house. Because you renovated the house, you think you want to tell them what to do in their mother's house. Oh my God, it's the drama. The drama never ends. Even with her, maybe she had good intentions, but I just feel like she should have just bought her mother a separate place.
It seems to me, the narrative is coming out now, it would actually seem to me like Wandi and her mother probably thought they owned the house. When this person decided to make the noise,
maybe that's how
in their mother's house, he decided to take it upon themselves and say, hey, stop that thing. This is our house. And then, because this is a theory that no one is not willing to look at. And that man was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I wasn't aware. I thought that's her mother's house. But it seems it's a family house. And her mother had 2 other siblings. So it's a tricky, sticky situation. And now it's come down to where people really feel that community is jealous.
Jealous of what? Someone who took someone's life? Why would they be jealous of that? If they were jealous, why didn't they chase them before?
They want her to be held responsible by the courts. They're saying let the courts do their jobs. Let the courts...
The court has decided to give them a bail of freaking 2,000 for someone's life. Allegedly. What do you think is going to happen?
They did get 2,000 rand bail.
What do you think is going to happen? What is next? Self-defense?
Maybe that's the angle. That's the angle. It will be self-defense.
Release with a warning? Something like that? Power to women.
But it's kind of concerning to see a lot of women now all of a sudden making Wandi a victim. It's kind of scary. I have to say this. It's kind of scary.
They are moving like that these days.
It's scary. It's like, okay, guys, so that man's life is literally worthless.
You know what? You can literally snap right now,
guys,
and take my life as we sit here. They will have videos that they can use here, and I'll be the wrong person that I've ever been. They don't know me. They don't know my face, but I'm telling you, that's the world that we live in right now.
And she also shared posts about how they stole her things. And she was saying that she's been holding on. They stole her MacBook. They stole her expensive Gucci items, expensive label
things. If the life of a person that was lost can be brought back, we probably can donate and buy that.
Now, to me, this was concerning when she said that. I don't want to lie, because I'm like, if I am the prosecutor and I'm presiding over this case and you are posting about your stuff that you lost and you think that your uncle that you killed is probably the one who took them and sold them. So this whole situation now, it doesn't look like it was a mistake.
It never looks like it to me, and this is my opinion.
So maybe she should stay off of social media and
She's
stop
lucky
speaking.
I'm not a judge.
And stop speaking. And also what made the community angry, because I was following the story, was how when she got bail, she was just so happy, so flamboyant, so
shaking it.
So
she was shaking it.
And I'm like, oh my God, the body language. Even the lawyer that is representing her is not reprimanding her. That girl, please look a little bit sad. She's wearing a fur coat with leggings and just like that. And I'm like, people are not going to like this. South Africans are South Africans at the end of the day. South Africans, bayazwela. South Africans, if you are in the public eye, there's a certain way that you need to conduct yourself when you've done terrible things. Do not create that impression that you don't regret what you did.
No. More so, we are talking about your blood here. Your uncle.
I know there are some people who follow the story. They're gonna feel some type of way as we're talking about it like this. I'm very sorry,
I really
guys.
don't care. Like
I apologize.
These days, we see sometimes you just need to
But
have that type of a skin.
what is happening, Mr. Anonymous? What is going? Are we Ubuntu abseko Ubuntu?
Now, women have been weaponized against men of color.
Kalemelang Wandi. If you love her and you care for her, reprimand her.
Instead of going and opening GoFundMe.
Reprimand her. For like she needs to take accountability for some of the things, especially if it's wrong.
Wrong is wrong, because whether you stole my stuff, whether at the end of the day, why do people get arrested for doing a mob on someone? Well, why do they get arrested?
Because it's wrong.
It's wrong, right?
They take
someone's life. Decide to play God.
So
the laws are there to mitigate that part. Say you've played God, you don't deserve freedom.
if she wants to be on social media, she needs to talk about other things or continue creating whatever content.
If it was her, it's not like she was using social media to.
She did post on her story.
I'm saying it's not like she was on social media that much.
Oh.
I mean, we only saw her when she was in Nigeria.
Yes, and then she came back.
When she was telling us we should mind our own business.
Mina? Niti ini Mina? He was like, what? Come back home. But it looks like being in Nigeria worked out for her. She made money. So she was able to renovate the house when she came back. It means she did make money for herself. But at the same time, if your money that you're going to make is going to come with this much, And by the way, I was speaking about the aunt. The aunt said that when Wandi had arrived, her daughter, which is Wandi's cousin, they were drinking together, and then she passed out, and then she passed away. So the aunt is feeling some type of way about Wandi as well. That's why the community's reaction. That's why that same auntie said,
so since she came back, two people are gone.
Yes, she's like, I can't stay in the same house with Wandi and the Wandi's mom. That's what she's saying, because she feels like she doesn't feel safe. I don't know. You guys decide what is going on. I'm just over this story. I'm just traumatized by the response of people that are deciding to call people jealous when they probably spend more time with Wandi's uncle, because Wandi was not there in that community. Even prior to going to Nigeria, she was always moving around. You know her past. You know, she was hustling. You understand what I'm saying?
I started knowing her when she was. I started knowing her when she was in Meg G.
Yes. Remember that episode of Meg G?
She's really brave.
So,
in my opinion.
So the community feels maybe they knew the uncle more than they know Wandi. Maybe that's why they have picked sides. But nobody's stopping to think about that. All of them are just saying they're jealous.
People who are far from the community.
Mm-hmm. They're like, no, this is why you must move out of the hood. You must move out of Elokshini. It's toxic. Abantu bana jealous.
Oh my God,
guys, a person died. Can we stop for a moment and try to find out what's happening? A person died. Okay.
I don't think this fight is gonna end. I think this fight is still gonna continue.
Yeah, it will
continue until we
end.
start sitting down and starting speaking facts and reasoning properly. Because one way or another, someone is watching this who is a male, who's gonna think that if I come out, this is gonna be the case, I'm gonna be verified. So let me just finish this thing right here. Exactly. These things are gonna happen.
Traumatizer.
these things are gonna happen. So, and then we cry the most. But crying is not gonna stop this thing. It starts with reprimanding these small things, not rejoicing.
I think that's
because it becomes now a war between the two genders.
The man was not famous. We don't know what kind of a person he was. We don't know. But we've all concluded that he was. Some are even going as far as saying he was abusing Abu Wandi. Okay, guys.
Where do you think he would keep quiet?
I wish this was a fact and not an opinion. I wish it was like, okay, you were there, you saw him do it. You understand what I'm saying? Let us not be too quick to cast such aspersions. Let us wait and see what is going to happen in the court itself. That's even if the court continues. Because at this point, it's not really promising. Hey, I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. But
oh no, Chuku Ada. We don't look for more. We don't look for more. There is a man who is being appointed as a minister. He spoke at length about the police brutality. I think that person should look for. I'm looking for no one, bro. I'm chilling here.
The criminals and the police need to come together and kumbaya underneath the sun and find a way that they can work this thing out.
Contrary to what Mkwanazi said, there is no peace between
a criminal
and the policeman. This man comes and say police brutality. Like, in my opinion, that's what he was saying.
We can talk together.
Let us see. I mean, at some point we need to speak the facts. But guys, I mean, people say things carelessly, and perhaps maybe they are trying to get into someone. I don't know. Allegedly, they were trying to make someone look bad. Who looks bad now?
Moyo was able to, Fanny Masemola was describing what he did. He was able to shoot, sitting at the back, target and aim at the head in the dark and not miss. That sent shivers down my spine.
What?
Moyo.
So he is the one who?
He's the one who shot the police. But he uncuffed himself. I don't know how he did it. He had a gun with him, and he was able to aim.
How did he get a gun?
I don't know. Maybe he took it maybe from one of the police officers. I don't know. Or maybe he was told where he could find it as they were moving him from the court. Maybe he asked to go to the bathroom. Asaz went in Jan. But he had a firearm. And he got out of the vehicle after shooting the one officer in the head, and he was able to shoot at the other one from outside of the car. So the way they're describing it, this sounds like a military trained person, in my opinion. And I was like, yo, guys, the police... the police have a very tough job.
Now, that's a different story.
It's a tough job. But Fanny Masemola, there's a video of him explaining it. I watched it yesterday on Facebook. I was so scared. I was like, what?
We are united. We're united. It's okay.
I thought maybe he had help. You understand?
I also thought so. Honestly, can you blame me for believing that a person who's incarcerated
and in handcuffs,
I
thought maybe he got help. I thought maybe at that stop there were two other people that were waiting, and they are the ones who actually did the shooting.
That 150 is gonna lapse. Forget about it. It's going back to the back. And then someone comes and say, this is a sign of the difficulties of what police face. Someone just lost their life. Someone's father. Oh, man.
And they
This
were
is a
breadwinners
sign.
in their families.
This is a
They had
sign
children. They
of
had
someone
wives.
of what the police have to face. How about you just let Nkanazi and the other police do what they do best?
They don't want to. They are saying human rights, whatever.
Here we go then. You blame us. Then you shouldn't be talking about this thing.
They're saying that it's not right. If we let it continue, then it won't be different from what was happening during the pre-1994 times.
Freedom is coming tomorrow. Freedom is freedom, guys. The consequences of the freedom are severe. Take them, live with them. Unfortunately, I have to say that. What can we say? We are free, Mos.
Hey, we're not safe in this country. We're not. So I don't know if I should quickly go through what is being put up against Stefani Masemola, or maybe that's a wrap. We'll continue with it tomorrow.
Oh, we'll continue with it tomorrow.
Okay, guys, let us know if you still wanna call in. I know I had promised on Friday.
Yes.
Ngihlulekile bazalwane. Impilo happens, life happens, family. I was held up with other responsibilities that I had, but I would like for you to call in and share your opinions about what you think about the case. Not only about the case, but the status quo, what's happening. I even forgot to even cover IDT, the corruption, EPWP. Oh, the mess over there. Ooh.
There's still tomorrow, man. There's still tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Don't ruin our tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Press the like button, become a member, and thank you for those who have joined. By the way, we are even getting the messages on WhatsApp. People are struggling to join, but now and then we get the answers. Utai bafethu joinile. Siyabonga bafethu. We thank you very much. Can you please explain in layman's term what Section 205 means? What Section 205 means, Emily?
In my very simple English, I would say it's a permission to access private information from a person that's been investigated. We're talking cell phone records, anything that is considered personal information and is protected in terms of POPIA Act. I think a Section 205 is needed to access such information, your bank statements, your trafficking information from the department, things that are considered personal that the state perhaps needs to prove their case against you. Then they apply for Section 205. But Mr. Anonymous, look for a proper definition. But that's my simple explanation of a Section 205. I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, you are there. Section 205 is the constitutional foundation for South African Police Service, SAPS. It ensures one, multiple level structures. SAPS operates at the national, provincial, and sometimes local levels. Core functions, crime prevention. Section 205. Is this Section 205 though?
Section 205?
Yeah, it is Section 205. Okay. Core functions, crime prevention, investigating public order, protection of people and property, and law enforcement. Legislative framework. Parliament must pass laws such as South African Police Service Act 68 of 1995 and Is this Section 205?
How, Mr. Anonymous?
If you ask about Section 205, if you ask about Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act,
yes, of the Criminal
instead
Procedure
of the Constitution, okay, yeah, let me do this. Sorry, man. Hey, boo, hey, ngiyako,
Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure Act.
Okay, what it says, Section 205 allows a magistrate or a judge to issue a subpoena requiring any person who's likely to give material information about the crime appear before a magistrate. That's number one. and be examined under oath. That's number 2. Number 3, produce books, documents, objects related to the investigation. This is like your cell phone, your books, your notes, bank statement, and all those things. Basically,
tracker information.
Key points: purpose to obtain evidence or information that could assist investigation and prosecuting crimes, often used for bank records, cell phone records, or other document kept by the third party. Do you get that? You know, who can apply for it?
Companies.
Who can apply for it? Usually it's the prosecutors. Applies to magistrate for section 205 subpoena, and the applicant must show that the person is likely to have information material to the case. So you don't just apply and get it. You must show that there is information material to that case.
Yes.
in my cell phone. I don't know how. You must sniff it. Who can be?
You place the scenario. Suspect.
How did you get? Yeah.
Is said to have been at so and so and so and so, and they want them to prove that they were not there. It would help us greatly if you can give us the tracker information of the vehicle.
Who can be subpoenaed? Journalists, bank employees, cell phone companies, staff, etc. Those are people that can be subpoenaed. Right of the witness must answer questions truthfully. However, under section 206, they may refuse to answer if the answer would expose them to criminal charge. Privilege against self-incrimination. Remember when the judge said, you cannot answer that, incriminating and all that, you know. Those are things that basically section 205 is about the third part information that is not of the state but the third part, such as your videos. You know what happened with the video of ENCA?
Yes.
That's section 205. It applies there.
Section 205,
cell phones record your information within the cell phone. Then any other documents that are of a third party. Yes, it falls under section 205. Not the one that I was reading, section 205 of the Constitution.
So that's a basic
explanation
of it.
Wandi faka enkingeni ke sengifunda section Constitution. Yeah, so that's basically it. I hope you are clarified. Caller from the WhatsApp, and thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you. Please press the like button, renew your membership, join membership, guys. It helps us. We appreciate these 2 members that have one renew and the other one joining. Considering that also one of them is our moderator, BBM. Appreciate you guys very much. Thank you, Lindy Webembe. We appreciate you. God bless you. It's a bye from my side.